Jaime, good evening. Felipe Valenzuela, Univision, Los Angeles. This was a deserved win, right? Can you share what's going on with Edson Alvarez? I hope he has recovered, and I think there was a great substitution with Luis Romo, right, in the midfield. Felipe, regarding Edson, we are going to wait. He is going to undergo. We're going to see what he has and make some images, and we don't want to risk it. He felt something in his leg, and Luis Romo helped us. He played a great match against Brazil, and he got to participate as his teammates, and we gave our all. We tried, and Jamaica always fights for the top positions with Panama in the CONCACAF competition, but we know that they are dangerous with long balls when they get to our box. But I'm really proud of all the players, and I want to thank also the fan base. They were always rooting for us, and I'm really thankful for that, because this can be defined in any play. Bastián Guiñez Escobar for Chilean outlet. Mexico had a great second half. He reached the box many times. What was missing in the definition to be superior in the second half and to secure the result? And what about the next matches? Well, we had to be more precise, and they had their goalkeeper had a great night. He saved many balls, and we knew that Jamaica was going to be a tough opponent, whether in the case of the goal kicks. And I think that we needed to have greater possession of the ball. That would have created more opportunities for scoring, but this is Copa America. I played it too, and there are no easy opponents or easy matches. That's what we have been witnessing these 3 days, and in every match we wage a battle, and we suffered a bit at the end of the match. And what about Venezuela? We will immediately focus on Venezuela. I have not watched the match. I don't like thinking about our next opponent when I have one I'm going to play against on that same day, and I will watch the match when I get to the hotel. I know there was a red card and that they flipped the script, and I think that we will have to keep up and improve to face this CONMEBOL opponent, and it is a great opportunity for us to keep adding points and achieve our goal. Jaime Rodolfo from Landeros Deportes. Something that the players have mentioned through camp was union or unity. What was their reaction after Edson's injury? Did you speak to him? And what would you like for our side to avoid in the next matches? Well, I think it has been our motto for this summer. together and in unity. And it's not easy to overcome the situation where your captain is removed from the field. But I think that the team stabilized fast and they focused on doing what was on our hands. And I think we suffered a bit more than what we deserve to suffer, because we know they have great physical aptitude, they compete at a great level, they play well with their aerial balls, and well, it had been a while since we conceded goals from set pieces, but I think we have improved much in this sense. And of course, there are always some aspects to improve, but you were able to witness it this summer, the improvement. Mao was asking yesterday what I wanted to see. Well, I want to see protagonists, and now we're more clear with the ball, we are better positioned, and we did not score another goal, but I think we showed our personality and we created very valuable and important chances. Mao, hello. Good evening, Jaime. Given what happened in the two preparatory matches against Uruguay and Brazil, for the buzz around the Mexican national team today, it was a must-win, right? So we can disregard the game plan at the time and then we think about it, or, well, I think there is an element of luck, but we will always work hard, but this time we had a little bit more time to be able to tilt the scale in our favor through our hard work on the field. And that is for this match and any other match. So as a coaching staff and the federation and the team of players, we all knew that the first two matches needed our best for the opening of our campaign. And we don't like doing whatever on the field. We like having a game plan, but that happened with Uruguay and with Brazil. So we went there to win. Brazil did what it had to do. They won the match at the end. But what I always promise you is that we will try to set the tone, try to be the protagonist, and we will try to impose our game plan, our strategy. We knew that it was very important to win because in the group phase you only have 3 matches, and the first one is not decisive, but it's very relevant, and I think that mostly the team executed what we thought it could execute. Jaime, hello, good evening. Julio mentioned that in the last 12 days you had 18 training sessions. Do you think that in this match you were able to see the training drills executed and developed? Yes. We were waiting for that 5-4-3-1 formation, and I think we were able to solve all our difficulties. We did not lose the ball as maybe they expected, and I think we had a clear mindset. We were able to arrive from the flanks, and maybe that last pass or the definition in the shots was difficult for us, but the goalkeeper saved many balls, and I think that even when it was scoreless, we had the hopes of scoring first. Omar Villarreal from TV Azteca. What is your assessment when you chose the goalkeeper after the injury in Malagon? What's your take on Julio's performance? Is he fixed now as a starter for the campaign? This is a very special position, and I think maybe it's better not to make a lot of replacements. And Julio has been with us for a long time, such as Malagon. He has a great track record and played many minutes and tournaments with his club. And this doesn't mean Julio will be with us throughout the campaign as a starter, but my assessment is very good. He kept a clean sheet, and of course there's room for improvement. And we have Alex Redondo, that is the goalkeeper trainer, working with him, but I think he should be at ease because he kept the clean sheet. Omar from ESPN Digital. How important is Edson Alvarez, or what is the impact of Edson Alvarez now injury? Well, he's a leader. He understands the game plan very well. He transmits the vibe, and he's our captain. He is very important to us, and he's very important on the field and in the locker room and in camp. And when you hear him speak or you listen to him, he has a great rationale. He is very smart, and he has always prepared well for opportunities. So when he speaks, everyone listens. And for us, it was tough to see him leave the field so early in the match, but hopefully we'll have the results soon and he'll be okay. Jaime Germán Fernández Moores from the La Voz de Houston. You were just asked about feelings and what was your reaction after Edson's injury. And I think there was also another reaction by the team after the goal was disallowed for Jamaica. There were 6 very clear goal situations after Arteaga's goal. Do you think it was due to anything in particular? Well, you're right. We discussed this during the match. We got to the field maybe not in the best of situations, or we were a bit distracted, and they scored. I've been hearing that it was clearly offside, but we agreed that that was a wake-up call. And as you said, the best moments came after that goal, and maybe we realized that if we did not keep up the pace, we could lose the game. Carlos Rodriguez from Agencia PEP. Can you share with us your take on Gerardo Arteaga? You mentioned that this was a Copa America to give opportunities to players and to take on more protagonic roles. And now that Jesus Gerardo is out, well, can you talk a little bit about Gerardo's reaction? Yes, we wanted to empower players that had many call-ups but maybe did not add minutes, and if now we are calling out the name of Arteaga, but it's not only him. We see many in his position. Now they have the opportunity to add minutes, and I am really happy for him, for Julio, for many other. I think they will continue to add minutes, and that is what we had in mind when we presented the roster, and I think it will be very important. We want to get to 2026 with the best national team possible. Sorry for my Spanish. Your team came out in the second half a bit late. The coach said that was unfair. Why did you came out late? I don't know if it was unfair, but we reviewed some plays on the screen, something we had to correct, but it was all on me. I think I went a bit overboard and I sent them running back to the field. Yes. We need to analyze a lesser number of plays so that we avoid this in the future. It is always important to achieve the 3 first points in a tournament such as Copa America, but now we have matches against Venezuela and Ecuador. Taking into account that Venezuela overturned a match for the first time in Copa America, and that Mexico was not having a good streak, and now we won. Now that Venezuela is leading with Mexico the face, what is your take on the next couple of matches? Well, I think the strongest opponent is Venezuela, and then once we finish that match, I will tell you that it is Ecuador. I didn't have that information you mentioned about them making a comeback, but we know they have many players abroad playing and that it will be a very tough match. Each match is a battle, and you need to give it all, give all the intensity and focus to try to win, and if not, at least to bring home a point. And my mind will be from now onwards thinking about the next match as the most important match. Jesús Padilla from Furia Deportiva. To what percentage is the Mexican national team playing? And what is your opinion on the field, on the pitch, the surface that now they are growing the natural sod where they usually play with artificial turf? Well, I did not step too much on it, but I asked and they told me that it was better than in the Gold Cup. They told me that it was okay to play, and the turf did not affect the game. Of course, it would be better to install it earlier, but I felt it was a field in a good condition. Even if we had won 4-0, I would never say they are at 100%. I will always find room for improvement, let's say 75 or 80. But I don't want to give numbers. I always find room for improvement. I hope that we can always extend our good streaks and our good performance, that we can always seize that time to have an advantage. Good evening, Cesar Pucel. Congrats on the victory. A couple of minutes ago, the head coach of Jamaica said that the only difference between Jamaica and Mexico was psychological, that they still see Mexico as the powerhouse of CONCACAF, and that was the main difference for him today. Maybe your players were overconfident today because they were facing a CONCACAF team, or do you also work on those aspects? No, we weren't overconfident. We weren't complacent. We went out to win the match based on our training sessions, but I think stability is one of the most difficult things to achieve. Being stable and it doesn't have to do with motivation. Maybe when you face the Brazil or Germany, or instead of facing other opponents. I think they compete very well. They compete in major leagues. And even if we won the Cup 3-0, it was a very important and difficult match. And by the end, the spread was greater, but it's the same. Well, the Jamaica almost took out the United States from a Nations League Cup, and now they played very well in the Gold Cup, and I know they are playing very well, and they have amazing players. They have a greater level of understanding among themselves, and of course, maybe he sees a bit of a difference in how they show it on the field, given the opponent. Miguel Ángel Mosca, I would like for you to analyze Santiago Jiménez and Guillermo Martinez match. And can Memo be a starter against Venezuela? Well, they all have the chance, and where is Gibran? Gibran is not here. I always give it after, and I give it 2 hours before the match because I want the players to compete for the positions and to be focused on what they have to do. And here there are no starters or subs. I just have to decide who will be better suited to help us win. Santi made a great effort, and it's not easy with a backline of 5, with 3 midfielders and 3 center backs. And he was always trying to make a shot. It wasn't possible. And we only had that one with Romo. And the goalkeeper made a great save. But I think we need to create more options for Santi. We need to help him with that because other than that, his pressing, his efforts are admirable. He's doing his job perfectly well. And then Guillermo, I think one of his strengths is ball possession. He knows how to keep the ball, and we wanted, for instance, for him to create some situations. You've seen how his teammates looked him up and were trying to play with him. And they are great players both, but they have different profiles. And I think both of them will continue to compete for the position. And Alexis Vegas well, Odio Quiñones, to add more minutes in this campaign. Leopoldo Mata, Radio Vocero. As to the strategy, what was your game plan for this match? What was the first modification and how did you communicate that? As to strategy, we thought about a match with a backline of 5, with 4 midfielders and 1 forward, and we wanted to have the greatest advantage in the back to advance and to generate 2v1s, and in order to always create the onsides and to have alternatives for the attack. We thought out the options and the context of the opponent, and we trained them. And then in the field, they decide. I think in the first half, we needed to dribble a bit more, to carry the ball a bit more, and we wanted to, in particular, wear down the forwards. Those were the ones that were pressuring us. And given their game and their play style, they're not very risky. And the kicks, well, if they are pressured, they go for a long ball. It's not the same as pressuring Brazil. Brazil will always play the ball, but Jamaica has a strength, they have power, they are fast. And given the game plan that we saw with the coaching staff, it is what we expected mostly for this match. We didn't make great modifications because things were as we thought they would be, mostly. We apologize, we cannot hear from the interpreting booth. I was voiceless in the halftime. Sometimes, no matter how loud you are, well, you can ask them to keep the midfield, to contain, to correct, but those kind of things were considered. And sometimes we need to see how the player can touch the ball a little bit more, feel a bit more comfortable, or yes, we are always keeping an eye on those situations that are less and less. But for instance, in the first half, everyone is listening. But then, with the amazing fan base that we have, it's very difficult for the players to hear us. Good evening, Professor Jaime Lozano, Ismael Dragón, Fútbol Honduras. Gio Herrera was saying that being on the bench and coaching the Mexican national team is a terrible pressure. Do you feel that pressure? Well, if Miguel says so, and he's been through everything, but yes, it is great pressure. I've always felt that throughout my career when I was a player. First, it's because we are very demanding with ourselves, and then you set goals, and I know there's not much I can do to change what other people think, but I, as a head coach, have to do my best to win as many games as possible, and sometimes that reduces the level of buzz around our work. We know in Mexico it is the #1 sport, and it has a say on the joy or sadness of the people in our country. But I am from a different generation, and I don't use social media. That helps me because I know that there are many things out there that aren't useful, that are not helpful, and I always prefer being surrounded by people with a good vibe, with a great energy that make me a better person and professional. So I always try to be surrounded by that type of people. So then I see everyone else as supporters, and I want to see them happy. So we give our all, and from the first minute till the end. And I want them to know that the coaching staff is here and that we want to see them happy. It's a match-by-match situation. It was a tough test today, but then we have Venezuela, and we will do our best to make our fans happy and to achieve our goals. Thank you very much. Thank you.